Hello everyone, Tina here for Papertrey Ink. I hope your day is going wonderful. Thanks so much for joining me. Today we are creating a refreshing card. We're using the Papertrey Ink Main Squeeze stamp set. We have the coordinating die set, and then we're going to make a background filled with lemons. This is the Life's Lemons stencil collection. We'll be using this. And then I'm also going to create a panel with the Love to Layer Decorative Brackets die set. Let's jump in. We're going to do this in 5 easy steps, starting off with step number 1, which is creating our focal point. For my focal point, we're going to create a picture of lemonade. So let's go ahead and do some stamping. We are going to stamp directly on our die cut elements, so I used the main squeezed dies and cut out all of my elements with white cardstock here. So and I'm using some Papertrey inks. We have in Soft Stone, Lemon Tart, and then this one is Harvest Gold. And let's start by doing our picture first. Picture, we have the main piece. I'm going to stamp this with my Soft Stone. I think if you had a very light blue, it would be pretty for this also. Let's ink this up, and I'm going to stamp directly on my picture. Now we're going to take our lemonade portion, and with all of my stamps, I kind of season them a little bit, especially if they're more solid. Just go over it with the palm of your hand. It makes for better impressions. For this one, I'm going to use, for this one, I'm going to use, I was going to use Lemon Tart, but I think I'm going to use my Harvest Gold for this. Let's just go over this here. And I'm going to stamp I do want to put a little bit of ice in my lemonade pitcher. So to do that, I'm going to grab my ice cubes. I'm going to use Soft Stone ink. I'm going to ink this up, and I'm going to stamp some ice cubes on my lemonade. It's going to be very subtle, which is what I want. I stamp it a couple times. There we go. I went with the Soft Stone, which is a light gray, because I want my ice to be very subtle. That's our picture. It's all good to go. We're going to put this to the side. Now we're going to work on our glass. We're going to use the same Soft Stone on our glass here. For this lemonade, I'm going to go over this with my Lemon Tart. And then I'm going to add some darker ink with my Harvest Gold. I'm going to add it to one side here. Add a little bit of a gradient. We'll go ahead and stamp these. For this one, I'm going to bring in a little bit of my Summer Sunrise ink, and I'm going to go around the edges. I think my Lemon Tart was a little too light. So let's stamp this. And we'll stamp this wedge here. It just looks delicious. Okay, and then we are going to stamp our whole lemon here. For my leaves, we're going to start with Mint Julep. And we're going to stamp all of our leaves here. And then I'm going to add a little shading with my Hawaiian Shores. I love this color combination together. Look how beautiful that is. And I will do the same thing with the rest of my leaves. That's all there is to our leaves. Now what we're going to do is stamp our straw. For the straw, we're going to bring in a pale peony ink. This is going to be for our base. We'll just go over this, stamp this directly on our straw. And then there is some detail stripes that I'm going to use my hibiscus burst with. We'll go ahead and stamp these. Now let's put together our focal point. What we're going to do is do a little bit of layering. First of all, I'm going to take my lemon here. I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut a slit in it. I'm going to add a little glue to one side, and I want to add this to the rim of our lemonade pitcher because I just think that looks adorable. Now you can do the straw two ways. Since it is a clear cup, you could go on the inside like this. But let's do that. I'm going to add some glue behind my straw here, and we're going to add it to the cup. Since our lemonade is clear, we're going to attach this leaf to our glass. And then I'll do the same thing with this one. We're going to attach it to our glass. And lastly, we have our lemon wedge. We're going to place right over the top. And that's our focal point. Now we're going to move along to step number 2, which is our home panel. I'm going to take my decorative bracket, and we're going to take the largest one. I'll die cut this out with some white cardstock. That's all we're doing for our home panel. So I'm going to take my lemonade. I put foam tape behind it, and we're just going to place this right in the middle. And that's good to go. Now we're going to put this to the side, and we're going to work on our greeting. Now we're going to move along to step number 3. We're going to stamp Yours Simply the Zest on some white cardstock here. Wonderful. And then I'm going to use my scissors, and I'm going to fussy cut out my greeting here. I put foam tape behind here. We're going to layer this right in the middle. Now we're going to move along to step number 4, which is creating our background. We're using the Life's Lemons stencil collection. It's a 6-piece layering stencil, and it's gorgeous. And it creates the most pretty background. So we are going to start with our leaves first. Let me bring in my grit mat and a piece of white cardstock. We're going to add 2 different colors to our leaves. So we're going to start with mint julep. Just go around here. For my next color of ink, I'm using a finger dauber instead of a blending brush, and I'm going to highlight some of the leaves here with our Hawaiian shores. I like to wipe off my stencil when my stencil is on my cardstock. And let's go ahead and remove this. And look how gorgeous that is. So pretty. We're going to add our next layer. I'm going to use my lemon tart ink, and we are going to go over our lemons. Now I'm going to bring in my Harvest Gold ink, and we are going to do some highlighting with this darker yellow. After that layer is on there, isn't that just so pretty? For the detail layer, I'm going to use the same ink. I'm going to use my Harvest Gold, and I'm going to go really heavy with it. This is just going to make those lemons look dimensional. Now we can go ahead and look. I'm loving those details. We're going to go over the detail layer of our leaves with the Hawaiian shores. Let's go ahead and take a look. Lovely. And then we're going to add our flowers next. For our flowers, we're going to bring in soft stone ink, and I'm just going to add a little bit of detail to the flowers. Since we have a white background, I do want my blossoms to stand out, but I don't want them to be a real color. So soft stone is a really light gray, and it's a great way to create some white flowers. doesn't look like I did much, but watch when you remove it, those blossoms just kind of pop. But they're still really subtle. That's what I love. We have one more layer to those blossoms. Now I do want to bring a little pink into my background. So we used pale peony for the straw of our lemonade, and I'm going to use pale peony for a detail layer on my flowers. So let's go ahead and add this. We're going to add a little bit of hibiscus burst also. There we go. And we'll take a look here. And that is our beautiful background. Let's go ahead and take our background and put this on an A2 size card base. Now we're going to move along to step 5, which means it's time to embellish. Now I'm bringing in some of my Papertrey ink. This is Lemon Tart Swiss Dot Satin Ribbon. It's 5/8 of an inch. There's some polka dots on here. I'm going to wrap it around and tie a bow off to the left. I'm going to go ahead and trim the ribbon here. Now the ribbon does add a lot of bulk, and if you don't want that much bulk, you can skip that part, but I just love the way it looks with the lemons. I also am going to bring in some baker's twine, and we're going to do an extra layer around this bow here. We're going to wrap it around twice. And then I'm just going to tie a knot on the knot of this bow. And rather than having the bow on the right side, I decided to switch it over here to the left. I think it's going to be a little bit more balanced. Because our lemonade is more heavy over here towards the left, I think if we have a bow, I think it's just going to flow a lot better here. Okay, I did put adhesive behind my panel here. We're going to go ahead and tack this down. Then finally, I'm using my diamond stickles, and I went over the wedges here, and then the slices, and then the ice cubes in the back, just for a little extra sparkle. And that will finish off my card project for today. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Thanks so much for sticking with me to the end. I have 2 more videos that you guys might be interested here. If you guys are new and like the content that you see, click that subscribe button and also the notification bell. That way for future videos, be notified. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It sure does help the channel. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.